So we are revisiting the iPhone 5s today. Why? Because there still are people out there who saved up for a long time just to get this older iPhone that they liked from day one. And also because one of the most sold and the most loved iPhones of all time was indeed the iPhone 5s. So let's revisit the iPhone 5s now in 2016 and see if it's worth your patience and savings. Let's get on. Now I'll get this straight. I'm a die-hard Android user, but ever since my sister got her iPhone 5s, I've been gazing upon the 5s's looks ever since. Somehow I really like the way the iPhone 5s looks. It's elegant, it has a very compact design and gets in the hand very easily. In 2016, there are hardly any phones with such a form factor. It's sleek, slim, thin and very easy to grip on. The fact that it's compact and it has a power switch on the top gives a very satisfying feel to it when I press the power button each time. Looking at the pace at which iPhones have been going on with the displays, getting this phone in 2016 won't be a problem at all as far as the screen factor goes. It's a 640 by 1136 resolution screen. The screen can barely be called HD on paper, but mind you, it looks great in person. Combine the resolution with a 4-inch display and you have a super sharp display coming in at a pixel density of 326 ppi. According to me, anything above 300 ppi is a crispy winner. Everything above that is sort of an overkill unless you plan on using a VR regularly. Since the screen is dense and has good colors, the cameras don't fail to take advantage of the screen either. The 8 megapixel back camera still performs great and the 1.2 megapixel camera doesn't fail in performing either. In all, I'm still very satisfied with the camera performance on this device. It might not be top notch, but hey, it still is a great camera. Now the performance is a big question here. With every iOS update to the phone, the performance receives a drastic change. While running on iOS 7 out of the box, the phone was extremely fluid and free of lag. As soon as the iOS 8 came out, the phone started to show a little bit of stutters here and there and occasional lags. But with the iOS 9 update, all that went away, but I could notice the phone struggling to push out all those good frame rates for every animation. Even though it's smooth, it's not as fluid as it was on iOS 7. So all in all, the performance was more like a swing here. It dropped down but then it came back. Subtle changes could also be seen in performance after software security patch updates. On paper, the iPhone 5s is running on a dual-core A7 chipset at 1.3 GHz with just about 1 GB of DDR3 RAM. The processor is unarguably outdated and that explains the reason for occasional lags. But surprisingly, gaming is very smooth for the most part. You can't really expect huge heavy games to run on this device, but smaller lighter games like Fruit Ninja work just fine. Until and unless there are a lot of graphical activities happening in the game, the frames won't drop. To keep these games, we need some storage. Here I have a 16GB iPhone 5s, but it is also available in 32 and 64GB variants. Expert advice, don't ever buy a 16GB iPhone. For the better part from Apple, they completely ditched out the 16GB variant from the new iPhones. But if you plan on getting the 5 series or even the 6 series of the iPhone, just don't go for the 16GB. With all the updates all this while on the iPhone 5s, the battery life has also remained quite questionable. You can't really argue with the fact that you need to charge it at least once a day before it dies off on you. You can't expect a 1560 mAh battery to last all day now, can you? A very crucial thing we need to talk about is the fingerprint sensor. The iPhone 5s was the first iPhone ever to come with a fingerprint sensor. So for the first gen, the performance is still pretty good. It's about a 20% possibility that you might not unlock your iPhone in the first attempt, but it does unlock. It isn't the fastest fingerprint sensor out there, but hey, at least it works. We could easily blame this issue on the various software and security patches that were released for the phone during all these years. As for 2016, the phone supports 4G and VoLTE, so I guess connectivity isn't a big issue. Speaking of 2016, no matter how many updates Apple provides for the iPhone 5s, there's one thing the iPhone 5s will never ever compromise on. And you guys saw this coming. The headphone jack. Joke's on you, Apple. Joke's on you. Also, the phone tends to heat up on heavy or long usage of the phone. However, it's not major heating, it's just a little bit of getting warm. That's it. So these were all the points I had to present after revisiting the iPhone 5s officially in 2016. I hope the people who were planning to get the iPhone 5s right now can give it a second thought. As for my accordance, I guess the iPhone 5s is not worth my money at least. Even though it's cheap, the further updates will only make the phone go slower and sluggish. I'd rather prefer an Android phone for the same price, which will probably give me way better feedback even while revisiting it after 3 years. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, make sure to drop a like on this video and even subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you think I missed something, or if you just want to add a point in favor of or against the iPhone 5s, the comment section is all yours. I read all the comments. Alright, I'll catch you guys later.